Very good afternoon, everyone. I'm super excited to be this week in Istanbul. The energy in the room here is amazing. I've met so many developers, so many talented entrepreneurs as well, so it's really a pleasure to be here. I will try to give you in the next minutes a few thoughts on DeFi and decentralized exchanges. Obviously, the timing seems right. We went through a very complicated week, as you all know. But maybe first I would like to get a little bit of snapshot on where we are from a technology perspective. We are building Web3. It means we are building the new generation of internet. And the question I have for you is, where do you think we are today? My personal view is we are at the very early days of the internet. If you look at this timeline, you can see that we are extremely early. The first computer was built only in 1969. Bitcoin was born in 2009, and Ethereum and the smart contract narrative came up in 2015. But there is many, many more things coming ahead of us. So I have a question for you. Where would you place on this timeline the Facebook of the world, Mongox, Uniswap, FTX? So take a minute to just kind of think and project yourself in terms of timeline. So even though it's complicated today, keep remembering that we are building decentralized systems. It's the third generation of the internet, and the internet has a really exciting future ahead of us, and we are only at the beginning of this journey. So that's very important to put things in perspective and coming back and taking a step back from looking at the asset only, but thinking of the underlying technology. Overall, our societies are moving away from being bureaucratic and more, and we had a demonstration earlier in this talk here, moving more and more into the algorithm age. And to live and to succeed in this algorithm age, we really believe that decentralized infrastructure, as well as decentralized autonomous organization, or DAOs, will help us manage these algorithms. So it's all over us. If you have a social life on social media, you will see that people are essentially running algorithm around you. There is algorithms on the stock market. There is algorithms everywhere. So thinking how the internet and how the infrastructure around us will help us to eventually navigate and succeed in this kind of paradigm change within our global infrastructure of the internet. So moving away from the bureaucratic age and moving to algorithm age. And for that, blockchain and DAOs are really the perfect tools, and it really gives me a lot of optimism when I see everything we are achieving so far on blockchain and DAOs. DeFi, or decentralized finance, has demonstrated to us also over the past years that the internet is essentially a composability factory. So it's a mouthful. It looks like kind of opening an open door, but it's really important to, again, take a step back when there is complicated news as we have today, and thinking how we can keep building on the top of each other's. Web3 means composability, and this has been demonstrated to us before. So we need to be extremely optimistic on the future of this infrastructure. The blockchain and DAOs have demonstrated benefits, and these benefits will just keep amplifying. So building Web3 also comes with our own responsibilities. The responsibilities of the developers, the responsibilities of the operators, the responsibilities of the product designers, the responsibilities of the users as well. So we need to be really self-aware and being active in building this new industry. So there is many responsibilities we have. I think there is a first one, and that's an obvious one, but that's a very important one in my opinion. We need to rethink how we essentially remove the negative framing around our industry jargon. So what do I mean by that? If you think of us in the crypto industry, we have our own words and we call things in a certain way. But if you think of newcomers, or if you think of the next generations of people coming into our industry, try to think what means a non-custodial wallet. Does it mean a wallet which does not keep the money? What is a permissionless exchange? It's an exchange with no permissions. Think about when we explain to our users, connect with your wallet. We never do this in the normal life. We connect with our ID, or we identify ourselves with our ID, but we never connect with our wallet. So I guess my message here is to really rethink on how we present our product, how we design our product, and put again the user at the core of anything you are building. It's very normal for any technology to start with some kind of industry and engineering jargon, but it's a really important time now to rethink how we design and how we improve the user experience and the user journeys within the Web3 space. It's also a very good time now to re-engage with regulators. And I know many of you are in conversations with regulators. Regulators are always happy to get market information, to get update on how our technology and our space is growing, and we should not be shy of it. Keep engaged with the regulators, but it's very important to engage in a new way. Not only speaking about the benefit of DeFi, but demonstrating DeFi. Demonstrating that everything they are expecting from practitioners is actually applicable with decentralized finance. So if you have to choose between a deck with 10 slides and a demonstration, go for the demonstration. But keep the conversation open with regulators wherever you are, because this is part of the education, and this is also the way we're going to be essentially growing, fitting with what the regulators expect from us, and everything they expect makes a lot of sense. So we just have to have a very close conversation with them and demonstrating rather than speaking only. The proof of reserve, which is a very hot topic this week, is a bandage. It's not the final solution. The final solution is clearly DeFi. Eventually, there will be a world where these blockchains are definitely adopted as public good and global infrastructure, and the transition to centralized exchanges is only a transition. So trying to fix CeFi with a proof of reserve will only give us so many solutions, and we might face the same issues again. So don't look for quick fix. There is like fundamental changes we need to build, and there is fundamental changes we need to bring to our products and to our users. Something which is also extremely important is to keep building or rebuild whatever you're building, DeFi protocols which support the user intention with no hidden agenda. That's extremely important. Not only pushing the technology or pushing the agenda of your company, but putting the user at the center. That's something very easy to think about. That's very hard to apply every week, every month, every year for the long term. But at the end of the day, the best product will win, and the best products offer the best experience for the users, as well as the best is built in the best interest of the users. So that's a very simple principle to keep adopting in your teams and whenever you're building a new product. We need to keep improving the user experience. We need to keep improving the custody infrastructure. We've seen on some DeFi protocols a very big peak of activity, and DYDX is one of them, because people came to the realization that CeFi was actually not what they were thinking it was, and they are starting essentially a migration. But to assist all these new users coming and entering DeFi, we need to keep improving many things. So many people are at work there, but thinking of a better user experience, better choice of words, as I was mentioning earlier, and better custody also, because DeFi comes with a big custody challenge, which needs to be rethink, putting the user really at the center of the design and the decision. We need also, in this world of decentralized finance, to deliver on one very hot topic. Many people have the feeling that the decentralized autonomous organization, or DAOs, are the silver bullet and they will solve everything. But we still have to demonstrate a lot on how can they be efficient, how can they be coordinating and still keeping the user at the center of any decisions, for example. So that's very complicated topics. There is always a trend and maybe an initial thought thinking that we in Web3 are different and we should reinvent everything. But the reality, governance is at play in humanity for more than 1,000 years. So there is a lot of good learnings, a lot of experience we can get from the traditional world, and we should not throw everything away thinking it's legacy, but thinking how we can essentially amplify and improve this governance and making sure that the DAO we are building will be efficient and delivering what is expected from the community. A few thoughts on DeFi. One which is coming to mind is, I don't know for you, but I don't need SEX. I don't need centralized exchanges. So just keep experimenting on DeFi, start to offer DeFi proposals to your users. Behind this joke, I think there is really an invitation to everyone to experiment and to start to think how you can, maybe some of you are operating centralized finance exchanges, for example, and thinking how you could be potentially an hybrid portal, some kind of super app, providing partially some centralized services, but also giving access to decentralized finance in a way that will have your regulators happy with the way you deliver. So experiment and explore the world of decentralized finance. Maybe you as well don't need SEX. What are the benefits of true DeFi? It's fairly complicated to explain, but I think we have to keep expanding ourselves and sharing the best way we can communicate this key principle. DeFi is 24/7, 365 days a year, auditable. You get total transparency by the second on everything happening on decentralized protocol when they are designed the right way. There is also liquidity 24/7. It's something which is transparent. So if you enter a DeFi protocol, you should be able to get a feel on how much liquidity there is there, and is it the right time for you to enter and express an opinion on the market. It's also 24/7, 365 uptime. Ethereum never failed. Bitcoin never failed. Some adjacent infrastructure or some applications sitting on the top of these global goods are failing from time to time, but the core operating system, so to say, that are these blockchains, are really constantly up. And that's very important also to capture. DeFi will never let you down when it's properly built and connected to this operating system that are the blockchain. You can access globally DeFi, so there is no restrictions. It's also lower cost and faster settlement compared to some of the centralized exchanges. The security is also improved. You get a greater user control, so you know exactly what's happening with your fund. And I don't have to explain this to you again. I think everyone got great explanations over the past week. Lower counterparty risk. So again, the drama of FTX and the dramas before, a few months before, are also illustrating that counterparty risk is something to really integrate into your product, integrate into the way you enter and express your opinion on markets, and also lower switching fees. As a user, you can essentially move from one place to another without pain, and you can get the best platform whenever you will need it. So all these true benefits of DeFi, we will need months and months to communicate them to the users, explain them to regulators, explain them to entrepreneurs, but they should be really core of everything we are doing. A few words about the history of DYDX. I am with the DYDX Foundation. I'm the CEO of the DYDX Foundation. We are essentially working with the community and the protocol to grow the DYDX protocol. DYDX was founded in 2017, first on Ethereum. Today, the version 3 of DYDX is sitting on a layer 2 built out of Starkware. There is no transaction fees. But there is a few centralized components, and I will come back to them, such as a sequencer, for example. We are now building the version 4 of DYDX. We call it V4, and this will be essentially a dedicated chain built with the Cosmos SDK. So the version 4 of DYDX will provide you a fully decentralized infrastructure from the sequencer, the order books, as well as the chain, obviously. It will be run by DAOs, decentralized autonomous organization, and it will improve the capacity of the protocol itself, growing the throughput, getting a faster finality of your trade, and also opening the horizons for new product offering. We are building on Cosmos because it allows us to essentially have our application, the protocol of exchange, sitting on a chain which is dedicated to our use case. And we will not be sitting anymore into blockchains which are designed for general purpose. There will be no trade-off in the way we design our chain. It's everything about the functionalities, the performance, the stability, the security. So we have this very ambitious projects running on right now on building a chain dedicated to trading, and DYDX will illustrate that. As I mentioned earlier, we're building on Cosmos because it gives us these functionalities. The Cosmos V4, I mean the DYDX chain version 4 built on Cosmos is progressing very well. We have already internal testnet, and we keep updated the community. So follow us on Twitter and some others. Social media, so you can stay updated about how much we are progressing from the technology perspective. Follow us on DYDX Foundation on Twitter. Connect with the community here of DYDX in Turkey. And thank you so much for your time. Keep building, everyone. Thank you.